Hello and welcome to yet another episode on which is a very special one, by the way, on healthyram.com, which is on mental health and happiness. Happiness, of course, is very closely connected to mental health, and in a way, if you're happy, your mental health state is also good. So for that, who better to have in our studio than the founder and president of Society for Happiness, Dr. J.K. Mehta. Welcome to our studio and welcome to Healthy Ram. So he's been, of course, he spent many years in the corporate world as well. So today we're going to have a very interesting conversation with him in terms of what really happiness is all about and how does that apply to the public in general and of course in the corporate world, which is very relevant. So my first question to you, and I'm sure even the audience would like to know, what really inspired you to form or this Society for Happiness Club?
Namaskar. It's very interesting, your question there. What I'll talk a bit about happiness and evolvement, how it came into this thing. A child, a baby, smiles 400 times a day. As we start growing older, learning and earning things, we stop smiling. An adult on average smiles 17 times a day. Oh. Now, this is something serious. And while working in the corporate world, I found that people who were happy with the work, people who were satisfied with the assignments, they were better performers, their productivity was more, and they were healthier people. It's very simple. When I was in the corporate, I had writing on the wall. Enjoy your work, celebrate life. It's very important that we have to put the right people on right job.
Yeah.
As a senior, as a team leader, my job was to see that the people get the job they like to do. And then I leave it to them and they do perform excellently and the output is good.
Right.
Now, when I superannuated in 2011, at that time I thought that, well, okay, what next? What should I do? Now my children are settled, then I said, well, let me share what I can spare. Let me share whatever gyan, whatever experiences I had during my long career, number one. And number, somehow be instrumental or catalyst in spreading happiness.
Right.
Next question came to me is, what is happiness? As you rightly said, what is happiness? Then I talked to a couple of my friends, acquaintances, peer group, neighbors, on their perspective of happiness. And I got different solutions from different people.
Right.
Majority said, Pehla sukh nirogi kaya. If you are healthy, you are happy.
Totally.
That comes to healthy Ram, by the way.
Right.
So, first thing is that we need to be healthy to be happy. And second, how to be healthy. Then came other issues like, pranayam or yoga or excursions or music and different forms are there, and instrument to being healthy and happy. Some said I would like to travel, some said there. So then I said, okay, now let me set up a body, NGO to spread happiness. So that how we conceived. In 2016, we formed Society for Happiness, a registered NGO.
Okay.
It is about 6-7 verticals: Seva, Sadhana, Satsang, music, excursions, then awareness and health, and pure happiness. So different verticals are there. It's on the website also, and we started interacting with people and trying to spread the word around. Yeah. So that's how it got evolved, and now we are having different verticals and sections of our Society for Happiness catering to. Another important fact was there, which maybe transitioned around Corona time, I would say, that there was lot inequity in society. That is, when the people who are less privileged, economically weaker, they need an extra care.
Right.
And if a person can spare something, that can be anything. It's not money, it's clothes, it's gyan, it's medicine.
Just even your time, giving time.
So spend some
people
time
don't have
with
time
them.
today.
So we started trying to bring a greater equity in society.
Right.
And poverty alleviation. So we worked on that. Now currently in our neighborhood, we adopted a village and trying to make it rogue mukt, disease free. So we call doctors every month for free consultation, and we provide medicines from our end free of cost to the villagers. So if they are healthier, they'll be happier. And what I found that in these economically weaker people, the less rich people, they avoided going to doctors, because nowadays if you go to a doctor, you spend anything between 500 to 1000 rupees.
Right.
And that's a big drain on their budget.
Hmm.
So many, what they used to do, they used to go to the chemist over the counter and ask for some medicine which the chemist, as per his limited wisdom, would give. But the cure was not there. The root cause was not eliminated. Now when we are calling doctor, they know it's a problem, recurring problem, something simple as headache, maybe for other reasons, blood pressure, anemia, sleeplessness, anything. So when the doctor diagnoses it, it gives a permanent cure. So we are doing that now, for example. Then a number of other initiatives we've taken in recent years, trying to spread happiness. So we have a connecting with people, spreading smiles, celebrating life. That's a catchline for our organization.
Very interesting. Yeah. So I would just like to touch upon, one thing. You're talking about the inequality in the society. So do you think, there's been a lot of progress, of course, even if you look back, a couple of generations from where we were and where we are now, certainly, everything is improved overall, but still there are many who say that the disparity has kind of increased. So do you agree with that? And do you think that leads to even more frustration and, effect on your mental health and peace?
Well, I think this mental stress, or for that matter, happiness, I can say a simple equation of reality upon expectation. The more you have expectation from a situation, from a relationship, from this thing, the less probably you'll be happy. And the more reality you have happier, of course, So what you have and what you want to spend.
Gratitude, I think, is most important as well.
So it's very important, you see, that whether in the corporate sector or otherwise, your expectation, and as the Gita says, accept things. If we live in the present, accept things as they are, I think we are a happier person, more satisfied. And that reduces stress. That reduces our mental happiness also. Because in any situation, I can relate to it, I can explain it, that how it grows when your expectation increases with any situation or relationship.
So in your definition, and I'm sure that would translate into the club's kind of perspective as you look at it, how do you think and relate to happiness, or how do you define happiness?
Yes, I think, again, as I told you, happiness like an octopus, many wings are there.
Right.
And we have to cater to all these issues. So we have primarily, we made some WhatsApp group, One is wellness and health, WAH. Then other we said is Josh, jokes and sharing happiness.
Right.
Like that. Then Gyan Dhara. Then Hamare Sanskar, Hamari Sanskriti. Adan Pradhan. Like that, I have a number of groups there. And in each group, like-minded people get together, share their thoughts, and then try to further their cause of happiness. That's one. Secondly, we organize activities. Activities, again, for every levels of society, their needs. Simplest, I'll tell you, every month we have a get-together over luncheon meeting in one of the restaurants, where people contribute, they come. Now it gives a chance for about 30, 35, 40 people to come together and have this thing. Nowadays, it's very difficult. If you have to visit somebody, maybe once in a week you can do, and then if you've got 40 people, take whole year to do it.
Right.
Now, in every fixed in a month, they all come in this thing, happy environment, and no lady of the house has to go and cook for them. You order food and we share it and enjoy it. Simple as that. You see, happiness is very simple to get. Only thing we have to work for it. So similarly, we have some picnics, excursions, cooking, the health classes on my wellness and health group. I keep posting, or we keep posting simple home remedies, and that's there. In fact, 2019, I wrote a book, Love Your Body, Heal Yourself. So basically, we all have to love our body. That's very important.
Right.
From the first breath to last, body is with us. Everything else comes and goes.
Correct.
So you have to understand. Unfortunately, nowadays, people don't know how to breathe, how to eat, how to sleep. And if basics are handled, they are a happier person. Very simple as that.
So, interesting point you brought about, sharing things with people, meeting. And of course, even more so important, I think, even whether you are young, teenagers, they're still on social media, but are still so alone.
Yeah.
Or alone is also not an issue. I think being lonely is a problem. Being
Yes.
alone is all right.
Yes.
You should have your own me time and everything.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, do you think community has a big role to play, in happiness and mental health overall?
Yes, yes. We call it Sukh Dukh ke Sathi. The community, the bigger
Right.
community. What happens? Now, I'll share my example. Many of us are senior citizen or super senior citizen, and children are settled abroad or out of Delhi or out of place. And we look forward to support, social
Right.
support. If I want to go to a doctor, maybe orthopedic, I don't, there are 10 doctors around. Which one is good? I talk to my friend circle. They have the experience.
Yeah.
And that's a sincere advice,
Correct.
not a marketing advice like a pharmacist.
Right.
So that's it. If you want to go to a good restaurant with my wife, I know which restaurant is good, the food is good, the rates are reasonable, and value for money.
Yeah.
I get to know. So for that, anything we want, we share. So and we keep in touch, and if somebody does not call for 2-3 days, we wonder why. Recently, I was talking to a friend. He said, "For last 1 week, I have not received any message from you. Is everything all right?" No, I had some problem. I had some prostate problem. I went to the doctor. I had this, that. He said, "Fine." So, but this is the advantage of staying together and sharing.
Yeah.
So we can help each other.
True, true. So, and of course, social media, there's so much of it.
Yeah.
Everything, it's like a double-edged sword,
Yes.
like everything else in life, or mostly. So, what kind of an impact do you think social media is, playing on everybody's lives, and especially the Gen Z
Yes.
who's seen the social media come into their lives, and it's like an integral part. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's now even with others, people who are elderly, but the Gen Z are totally into it.
You
So
see,
what-
I will say social media is like a buffet spread. Everything is there available. You have to have the wisdom to choose what you want to eat,
And-
what you can digest.
And how do you
Yes.
get that wisdom? Because suddenly you have
Yeah.
everything in front of you.
No.
You feel and you think you
No.
know everything,
This.
but then you don't want to reach out.
Yes.
And then there's peer pressure. There's so many things which are there again.
So this is what I say: know your body, heal yourself. Know yourself. What company suits you? What thoughts? Whether you like to mix with a group that has a leg and a peg a day, or you want to mix with a group that has satsang and Hari Bhajan day. They're
Right.
different. So you select that. Okay, this is what I want. This gives me happiness. Then I have to associate with this group. That's there. So social media also will have so many plethora of messages coming. What you want to see and what you delete. There are certain things you just see and delete. Okay, I don't want. Or exit the group, and some you want to join and enjoy it. So we have to use it intelligently, and intelligence comes with our introspection and deciding what
Yeah.
we want. जो आपको बताऊं, इंद्रियों का सुख, हम जब अध्यात्म में जाएंगे तो जब हम इंद्रियों के सुख के अधीन हो जाते हैं तो ही प्रॉब्लम आता है. वी शुड कंट्रोल आवर डिजायर्स, राइट?
Right.
डिजायर्स कंट्रोलिंग अस. दैट्स ऑल द डिफरेंस.
But you can still enjoy life
Yes, yes.
being in this world. Doesn't mean that you have to denounce everything and move to the
no,
woods.
no. What I'm
No.
saying is, मर्यादा में सब कुछ अच्छा है.
Absolutely. So,
You can have a gulab jamun, but not 10 gulab jamuns.
right.
So there's a limit, there's a maryada, there's a this thing. So everything is good within the limit, and the limits will vary from person to person, situation to situation.
Yeah. Balance is the key.
Yeah, balance is required.
Yeah. So, switching over, to the corporate world,
Yeah.
which you've been so, part of it for so
Yeah.
long, and at such different positions all
Yeah.
throughout. How do you, and in the today it's so, there's cutthroat competition. Everybody's into the race, trying to get ahead of the other. There's so much of pressure within everybody who's out there working of all kinds. Many of it is forced upon you. Many of it is you created for yourself. So, what advice and what would you suggest, to people
It's-
who are in the corporate world to really
It's very
stay happy?
interesting. It's very interesting. I'll say this: mental health is something akin to sexual health. Don't want to talk about it. People have shy of talking to anybody about their anxieties and stresses.
I think it's even lower than
Yeah.
that, because people might still talk about something, even jokingly or otherwise,
Yes.
but they will not talk about mental health at
Mental
all.
health.
Even
Number
now,
one.
just hush hush,
Yes,
put it
yes.
under the
No, hush,
carpet.
hush.
No,
And
no,
sec-
the person is fine.
And second thing is, sometimes they don't realize also.
Exactly.
They don't
That's
realize that they are under stress. They feel they are in a race for promotion, a race for a post, a race for something. But their burnout syndrome, they are not realizing. I have experienced with many of my colleagues and friends, they spent strenuous hours trying to please their bosses, something. They thought they are achieving something, but they lost the family life, they lost the happiness, and ultimately they lost their health.
Right.
So, point is that why this happens, and this happens because of disparity. Somehow the management also is not aware of this thing. Of course, of late after Corona and otherwise, people are becoming more and more aware of this mental health issues.
Right.
But recently I was reading a WHO report, that more than 12 million man days are lost per year on stress, anxiety.
Yeah.
And it translates trillions of rupees or dollars for that matter. So even the HR policies, the management, I was just talking to somebody recently, that very arbitrary are there. They don't relate it with the person. Each person is different and has to be handled in a different way.
Right.
To stress. I can cite so many examples from my personal life experience in working corporate, but I think we'll increase that. It will be
Sure, I
time,
know that
time
could be
I will
a
not
separate.
discuss it. But yes, what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say is, it is equally, management is equally responsible as individuals. That now of late people are talking of mental health in corporate world, in HR, emotional healing, emotional quotient. All these are being discussed, but still more needs to be done, I would like to say.
I totally agree with that. So, if somebody's, found himself in a rut and is not able to come out of it, so would you like to share any tips as to how they can find some
Yes,
ray of hope
yes,
and
yes.
happiness?
Yeah, there are 2, 3 very simple things. One is sleep well. Very simple. If you have 7 hours of sleep a day, half the problems are solved.
Yeah.
Because when you are stressed, your insomnia, it gets aggravated. Secondly, put that problem in a cupboard and lock it for some time.
Think over
It
it.
is there, it is
Mull
there,
over it.
but let it be there in the law. Don't keep on. If you are hurt, say, you're injured your knee. If you keep on scratching it, then it will not heal. You have to cover up with some cotton wool and leave it there
Yeah.
to heal. So these problems will come up because no two people are equal, but idea is to put them under cover for some time. Number 3, divert to some other activity you like to do. Sometimes what happens is that, okay, now I'll give you a very specific example. The boss has been angry, he's fired you for something, you've not done something well, or you're not particularly, then what to do? Come out, go for a walk, get some fresh air. Think, okay, that's right.
Yeah.
When you come back, the impact is less. But if you remain in the same environment and you keep thinking, उसने ऐसा क्यों कहा, उसने ऐसा क्या किया, मेरी गलती क्या थी, उसकी गलती थी, तो आप उसी में घूमते रहेंगे, आपका स्ट्रेस एंजाइटी बढ़ेगा.
बिल्कुल.
ठीक है ना? तो ये है.
Good. So, is there is there any way that you can learn to be happy? Certain people have a cheerful disposition, right? They walk into a room, and even though you might be doing something else, and they bring a smile in your face. On the other hand, there's certain people who walk into the room, and they don't lighten up your day. Let's or brighten up your day. Let's just put it that way. So, is it something that you are intrinsically born to be happy, or that's something that you can learn? And what do you do? The very good example that you said, I think, earlier, where a baby smiles 400 times a day, and as you grow up, those smiles probably are lost along the way into whatever, and they turn into frowns or whatever it might be. Basically, you're not smiling enough. So, what's your take on it?
I think you're very right on this thing, and when of late recently I realized that there are certain simple things we can do to be a happier self, and the first thing that comes to mind is meditation. When you do meditation, immediately you are more at peace with yourself.
Correct.
You more accept the situation as it is, and you're a happy person. And then if you come, okay, if not meditation, I say breathe right. Do some pranayam. Alom Vilom, Nadi Shodhan, Bhastrika, Brahmari, whatever you can do.
Correct.
If you breathe right, and lastly eat right.
Mindful eating,
Yes,
I think that's
mindful
very
eating,
important.
And point is, if You
you're
had
watching your newspaper in one hand or your mobile
yes,
now in
yes,
one hand,
yes,
and then
yes.
you are eating constantly. You don't know what you're
You don't
eating.
know, and
The food
it
has
is
energy,
when
it's not going in.
I've realized, that
Yeah,
brain, your emotions drive everything.
true.
So whatever you do, give your 100% to it.
Hmm.
You want to play, give your 100%.
Yeah.
चार काम एक साथ मत करो.
Hmm.
खाना खाना है तो मोबाइल अलग दीजिए.
Hmm.
Pray to God, thank God for this thing, and eat mindfully and what is good for you, how much is good for you.
Yeah.
It has not be a time as per clockwork. 1 बज के तो खाना है तो 5 भूख लगे तो खाओ.
Correct.
ठीक है ना? And give some gap between this thing and sleep well. Of course, I always say that if you sleep well, half your problems are solved.
I totally agree with that. So, I think to wind up, if you can quickly share some, it's been really engaging and, inspiring also speaking with you and the kind of work that you're doing. And hopefully, of course, go back a long way as well. Really have enjoyed, our discussions and so many projects, etc., that we work together. Any 3 tips, quick tips for on a parting note, for our audience for
Yes.
happiness?
I think one thing I would like to say, जो देता है वो देवता होता है. Point is, we are starting. मेरे को क्या मिलेगा, मुझे क्या मिलेगा. मैं कहीं भी जाता हूँ, whenever I do something, what's benefit, what is it for you, why? So, but I realize that when we do something for others, He looks
Without expectation.
without expectation.
Right.
God takes care of you.
True.
So, whatever you can do for someone, if you can help him, please go out and help. Don't worry, say मुझे एक return मिलेगा. You don't get return, but in a longer term perspective, you are a happier person, a healthier person, and that makes all the difference. So, very important is that share. Share whatever you can spare. If you have time, give your time. If you got money, give your money. You can spare food, give your food.
And it doesn't have to be big. It can be small little things in
Yes,
life
yes.
which makes all the difference,
Like
I think.
our Hindu philosophy said, we have some Ekadashi hai.
Yeah.
So we give to somebody on Ekadashi. So why we are trying to help, trying to make happy. He is happy, you are happy.
Yeah.
You don't have to look for return for it. So that is one thing. Second is meditation. It gives you a lot of patience. Live in the present. Past is history and future is mystery. Present is the gift God has given you.
That is why
Enjoy
it's
it.
called the
Live in the
present.
moment. And the child, the baby lives in the moment, so it's so happy.
Yeah.
You see, you may get angry with the child, baby. He'll cry, and again he'll come and hug you after 10 minutes. He forgets that you have scolded him. When we are adults, if somebody even looks at you, say, "Usne aisa kyun kaha?" and for next 10 years you think of this thing, it burdens you. Live in the present and let go.
Yeah.
And third thing is, don't give your remote to others. Let others not decide when you want to be
Correct.
happy or unhappy. Don't give a remote to others.
Yeah.
It's your choice. किसने बोल दिया यार तुम्हारे बाल गायब हो गए, गंजे हो गए, तो आप सोचते रहोगे क्या करें. यार आपकी देखो, आपकी एजिंग हो गई है. अच्छे खासे आदमी को बोल दो यार तुम्हारी चाल टेढ़ी हो गई, तो घर जाकर 10 बार सीखेगा. So point is, why should anybody tell you what you are? So 3 things I said.
Yeah.
Spare what you can share. Live life naturally. Eat and full with. And secondly, always don't give remote to others' hand.
Exactly.
Be happy.
So, with that, we'll wind up this episode, and which was once again a gentle reminder, about happiness, about mental health, and how all of us need to take care of ourselves, not just of us, but also people around us. And I think most importantly, it's very good that you step out and you are helping somebody, but even within the family, mental health is something you don't know. You cannot look into the deep caverns of what's going on between somebody else's mind. Sometimes you don't realize what's going on inside you as well. So spare some time, spare some thought, spread some happiness and smiles whoever you meet with, and follow Society for Happiness Club, and of course stay tuned on healthyram.com for more such episodes, more such interesting and inspiring talks. And thank you so much, Mr. Mehta, for dropping into our studio.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thanks everyone. Stay happy, stay healthy, enjoy life.
Absolutely.
Enjoy every day of your life. My blessings and best wishes to all of you. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Support to empower. World Mental Health Day Mega Workshop.